What's up, everybody? It's your girl Tyra Monique coming back at you with another YouTube video. Please, y'all already know the instructions: like, comment, share, and subscribe. Once this is done, this is your first time tuning into one of my videos, welcome. If you are already one of my lovely subscribers, thank you and welcome again. Before I start my video, I do just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you guys have been doing well, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all that good stuff. So let's just get into it. As you guys can see in the description below, this is going to be a quick story time. So yesterday was basically a self-care day for me. I got my eyebrows done, I got my nails done, and I had also got a pedicure, and my friend Dariah also got me right today, a natural B. I will put her information at the bottom. If y'all are in the South Florida area, definitely book her for your makeup needs. Anyways, so yesterday when I was waiting for my toes to be dry, I was on the phone with one of my homegirls, and we were, just chopping it up, having some good conversations. And I had came across a conversation with her about something that I had did in 8th grade. So my 8th grade year, I was 14. 8th grade to maybe like my 11th grade year in high school was good, but it was also rough. I was dealing with a lot of personal stuff. I was in a very deep, dark place. I'll tell y'all about that in another video. Sorry, but this thing keep messing with me. So I was in a very dark place, and me being self-accountable because I was dealing with a lot of issues. I was doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing. So I was living with my mom, and she ended up kicking me out, and I started living with my grandma temporarily, who was living in Deepside. It was my grandma, my aunt, my dad, my stepmom, and myself. And again, because I was going through some personal issues, I wasn't really talking to anybody. But eventually, once we kind of got past the situation, I started communicating back with my people. My dad at the time was working at a company where they sold like contacts. And I know people still wear contacts now, but I feel like in 08, 09, 10 and stuff, that people used to really wear colored contacts a lot. My dad, would come home and bring a whole bunch of contacts, and I would be like, ooh, daddy, like, let me get some. But every single day at school, I would wear different colored contacts, and there were girls in, middle school mainly, that would always ask me like, oh my gosh, Tyra, I love your contacts. Where did you get them from? They were basically kind of putting it out there that they wanted some. And I told them like, I get them from my dad. When I was on my way home one day with them, we were in the car, and I was just telling them like, yeah, there'd be a lot of girls asking me about contacts, blah, 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 blah. And a light bulb went off in their head. So they basically kicked it to me and was like, why don't you sell contacts? And I was like, sell contacts? My dad was like, yeah, like, I'll give you a whole bunch of contacts. You keep certain ones for yourself because you don't want to give them all of the good ones. So you keep some from yourself, and then I'm gonna give you some, and then you give them to other girls, and you sell them $10 per pair. I came home with a whole bunch of contacts. He gave me one of those big plastic Ziploc bags, and I went to school, and I started, telling the girls like, hey, I got some contacts, whatever. At this point, y'all, I felt like a drug dealer. I felt like the queen pin, a thug, a gangster, all that, because it was like, I was out here selling stuff that people wanted, and I was gonna make a profit. Word started to get around little by little. It was so long ago, so I really can't remember, how much money I was making, but I think it started off kind of slow, like $10, $20, $30, and then it kept going up. The main one that I remember though is this girl named Jasmine Cooper. And she saw me one day, and she was just like, Tyra, like, you got some contacts? And I was like, yeah. And she basically was buying some for herself and her. She was like, just give me 10 pairs of contact. From her, just herself, I got $100, but in total, I had made $165 that day. Right now, that may not seem like a lot of money because that comes and goes, but think about it, an 8th grader, a 14-year-old making $165 in a day from contacts. I was on cloud 9, honey. I was like, yes. And then the next day, I think I made like $50. I also had high schoolers who were coming up to me, oh, your name Tyra? Or, of course, because I have a shape. Until this day, some people still refer to me, big booty Tyra, thick ass Tyra, whatever. Again, I started feeling popular because not only did I have middle schoolers, but I had high schoolers also, like, asking me for some contacts. Fast forward, I remember there was this teacher. I couldn't stand her. Nobody couldn't stand her because she was just rude for no reason. And I can't remember the two girls' names, but I think they were like maybe 2 years after me. They were in 6th grade. And I think I came from lunch. So when I was walking, I had heard them basically confront me. And one of the girls was like, Tyra, Miss such and such knows that you sell contacts. Again, y'all, at this time, it's like I'm the queen pen. I got a business to run. This is how I'm eating right now. I felt like major pain, like y'all plotting on me. At my cool, and I was just like, how did she find out about my contacts? And it was basically she say, she said. One girl was like, oh, you know, she had pulled her contacts out and she was telling people that you sell contacts, and the teacher came up and was like, who is Tyra, and she shouldn't be selling contacts, and blah, 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 blah. They just going back and forth like, no, I didn't say that. You had did this, you had did that. Again, I'm keeping my cool, so I was just like kind of pissed because I'm like, y'all wasn't supposed to say anything, like y'all supposed to keep that on the low. So whatever, I walked away. And then maybe a few days later, I was in class and my teacher, you know, the phone rang and my teacher was like, oh, Tyra, the assistant principal needs to see you. First, you know, everybody being, ooh, but you know, I was just like, okay. And this girl, Danielle Malone, she was like, Tyra, they probably know about you in the context. So she was like, you have any in your bag right now? Give them to me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you smart. So I went to the assistant principal's office. His name is Mr. Pierre Jerome, Haitian guy. He tried to, I guess, intimidate me. He had like a lady police officer in the office, and he basically was, you know, saying like, oh, I heard that you're giving people contacts and you're not supposed to do that on campus, and you know, if something happens to their eyes, you can get in trouble. My mama, being the main parent, wouldn't allow that to happen, and I would have gotten in trouble. But because I was in with my dad and he, you know, put me up on the game, I was just like, all right, I'm chilling, I'm cool, I'm like, I don't care. So he was like, you know, what's your father's number? And no, at first he was like, who do you live with? And I'm like, confidently, I'm like, my father. He was like, oh, well, give me his number. So he called my dad, put my dad on speaker, and my dad basically he basically reiterated what he told me. And then my dad was just like, you know, at the end of the day, once it's out of my daughter's hands, it's no longer her responsibility. Like, if people have something wrong with their eyes, that's their fault. You know, they should have never got them from her. So my dad was just like, if they get contacts from her, whatever happens, that's on them. Afterwards, you know, the lady officer was trying to talk to me like, you know, you're not supposed to do that and blah, 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 blah. And he asked to search my bag, which I had nothing in there but my school stuff. And, you know, because I'm a female, I had a pad in there. So I was kind of like, I don't want you looking through my bag because I had a pad in there. But he looked anyway. That was that. I ended up going back to class, and the girl Danielle was like, what happened? And I was like, you know, yeah, they found out about the contacts and whatever. So she ended up giving me them back. The good thing is, he didn't know that I was selling them. He didn't know I was making a profit off of it. He just thought that I was getting contacts and giving them to people. Basically, after that, y'all, your girl business, you know, basically had to end. After that whole incident, business slowed down. I had like a few more contacts from here and there that I would sell to people, and then after that I just completely stopped. I don't even remember how it ended. I can't remember if people stopped asking or if I was just like, I can't do it no more because, you know, snitches. I really can't remember, but I do know for a fact after that I was like, your girl locked the game. That was basically my story. And yeah, you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe. This year, I'm definitely going to be more consistent with my videos. Please, if you guys have, you know, any family members, any friends, or whatever that have a YouTube account, please subscribe to my channel. And I thank you guys for tuning into my video today. Until next time, peace, love, and chicken grease.